Hello and welcome to Intern Insights. I'm your host, Dr. Bruce Finklea. I'm the Mass Comm Internship Coordinator here at the University of Montevallo. Internships give students like Dan here the opportunity to gather real-world experience, and we are just going to sit and chat about some of those things. So Dan, thanks so much for stopping by. Now, you interned with 97.3 The Zone.
Right.
So tell us just a little bit about what you did as an intern every day.
Well, it was, we covered all the high school football games of the week every Friday. I was producer. I would occasionally be a color commentator and play-by-play announcer. We'd go set up before the games, meet the players, get stats, and meet the coaches. And, of course, we call the games, and then I'd make sure that everybody, while producing, all the appropriate sponsors get their names called out during this broadcast so they earn their money.
Yeah, don't make the people that pay the bills mad, right?
Right. Make sure Jerry Young, the sports director, he's taken care of. He's like the Pope. We have to make sure he has a golf cart, taking him to and from his car and everything. But it's very interesting because it's all just like play-by-play here. It's on the fly. You have to adjust to things because it's all live.
Yeah.
And then
no
of course,
safety net.
Yeah, no safety net. And then of course, at halftime and in the games, getting interviews and breaking down, and then either going back to the station or coming back home. So. Okay.
And you brought a couple pictures showing us kind of some of the stuff that you did, right? Can we go ahead and take a look
photos
at some of those? So there you are with the headset on.
Yeah, exactly. Headset on, daytime. And this was actually a conjunction with 97.3 The Zone and PlayOnSports.com. This actually happened briefly after the actual internship. This was with covering high school softball championships in Alabama. And one of the other the rest of the photos, I believe, are all going to be with 97.3 The Zone covering high school football. I believe there's one at least of Hoover. We were covering a Hoover game. And then, of course, we had a jersey made up because I got polo shirts assigned to me. Took it upon myself, and I asked if I could get a jersey made up. We had a jersey made up with 97.3 as the numbers, and of course, with my name on the back. But yeah, just a great time. Jerry Young, I actually found out about the opportunity by contacting Eli Gold.
Really?
Yeah. Eli Gold returned my call. I sent him an email, and he returned. He actually called me. I didn't recognize the number,
but I bet you recognized his voice.
I recognized the voice, and when I first heard it, I thought it was somebody playing a prank on me. And I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "Wait a minute." And I said, "Who is this again?" He says, "Eli Gold." Yeah, I was like, "Wow!" But yeah, and then he gave me Jerry Young's contact information. So I guess Jerry Young has, been in contact with him over the years, and I called Jerry Young, and that's how I got the ball rolling with the internship.
Awesome, awesome. So of course you're able to go and do things that you don't get to do necessarily the exact same way you do things here. Granted, we have play-by-play for basketball and stuff like that. But what are some of the things that you got to do in your internship that coming back to campus have been incredibly valuable to you, and things you've been able to integrate into your work as a student?
Well, you realize, of course, that number one is that everything that we do here, you do there as well, but there's added things, because again, you have to worry about, like what I said with the producing, you have to make sure everybody gets paid, the sponsors, and then of course we actually have sponsorships. We give out merchandise, so it's promotions too involved. And of course, almost like a public relations thing too, where you're in contact with, before the games happen throughout the week, the coaches, you're making sure that you can get interviews before the games, talking to the referees, making sure the referees know that because we go to commercial, until we send somebody back out there, they have to hold up the kickoff or whatever, coming back from commercial. So it's a lot of things behind the scenes that you don't realize when you got, especially a smaller crew for radio, you have to send somebody running out on the field for certain, to stop play, so you don't realize that, people are actually being held up by someone on the radio before they can actually kick off.
Right, right. So you mentioned that it's live, and we talked about there's no safety net with that. I mean, just like this. I mean, the lights could fall down right now, and we have no control over that. And that being said, our good buddy Murphy and his law means that if something can go wrong, it will.
Right.
So tell us about a time where something in a live show didn't go as planned, and how did you handle that?
Well, honestly, you get name pronunciations, but sometimes it's still gets mixed up because some names are just a lot more difficult to pronounce than others. And Jerry Young, God bless him, he was doing the play-by-play, and I was producing that night, and he kept saying one guy's name incorrectly, and I made signs, you know, and I was throwing them up in front of him, you know, it's this, and he waved me off, but the bad thing is he said it again, even after that. So when we went to commercial, I explained to him what I was trying to tell him, like, you know, it's actually pronounced this, you know. But that's one of those things, you know, you can't stop it at the time, obviously. But, you know, he came back and he made amends for it and corrected it and went on. Other than that, technical problems. Those things, we had one time where almost an entire quarter was lost because of a power outage. Yeah. And that's live radio.
Super Bowl too,
right, so you know, we send it back to the producer at the studio, and then of course they fill it with other stuff. You know, they have people at the studio that are doing sports talk and whatnot, so they kind of fill it in until we get back. You know, they give updates. So at the time that we're out of out of communication, I'm on the phone with the studio communicating what's going on with the game.
Right.
So we're still I'm still basically letting them know what's going on, but via phone.
Yeah. So you always have plan A, and you hope that works. Then you have plan B,
right,
and then you always keep plan C in your back pocket because you know eventually you're going to get down to it.
Yeah.
So Dan, just last question. What advice would you give to a mass comm student who is hoping to have the same type of internship experience that you did?
Well, you know, you're in this degree because I think anyway, because it's something that you love to do. And it's one of those things that I've been told years and years ago that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And that's my thing. You know, you're in broadcasting, there's a lot of different things you can do with it, whether it's behind the scenes or in front of the camera or on the headset. Find your niche and stick with it, and just enjoy it. I mean, again, I'm older than a lot of students, so I've had a career before this, so now I'm starting a new career. So I want to make sure that what I do here at the school translates to my next career.
Yeah, well, that's good advice. Good advice. Dan Cook, thank you so much for stopping by. If you would like more information about mass communication opportunities, feel free to stop by my office in the Mass Comm building at any time, or you can email me at bfinkley@montevallo.edu. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.